how did you get into this? Why did you decide to write a book about the Southern Poverty Law Center?
Yeah, well, so there's so many different layers to this. First off, I was at the Family Research Council in the summer of 2012.
Oh.
And I was not there when the shooting happened, thank God. But I don't know how many people remember, there was a man who took the hate map from the Southern Poverty Law Center and used it to find the Family Research Council and go in. He had a bag of Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches and a semi-automatic pistol. And he told the FBI his goal was to go to every single person in that building and shoot them and smear a Chick-fil-A sandwich in their face. And this was in the middle of, 2012. Chick-fil-A had gotten, there was a controversy about them funding conservative Christian organizations. And many people on the left, especially the LGBTQ activists, they were saying they're funding hate. And so this is coming. This is an LGBT hate crime that was committed, that this guy came in. Thankfully, the shooting didn't fully take place. There was a brave building manager. He's not actually a security guard. He was a building manager who stopped the would-be shooter. He got shot in the arm, and it's a lifelong debilitating injury. But thank God that was the only thing that happened, because this man was planning to kill everyone in the building. And he later told the FBI he used the SPLC map to find and target the Family Research Council. And to be fair, the SPLC did say immediately after that they condemn violence. They didn't want an attack like this. But at the same time, they've kept the Family Research Council on the map, and they've added even more mainstream conservative and Christian organizations ever since. And so that issue, that stood out to me because I had gone to that very nonprofit and been sitting in the chairs outside the main entrance where this shooting happened. And then there were lawsuits. In the summer of 2017, there were about 4 different news events that led me to really focus on the SPLC. One of them was that a charity watchdog it was GuideStar, put the SPLC hate group labels on all of the organizations on the hate map.
So they partnered with another organization.
Yes. Well, and so this is one of these websites that you'll go to see, oh, is this nonprofit good? Should I give my money to this nonprofit? And without going to all of these groups that had been smeared by the SPLC, without taking a second to question this, GuideStar just puts hate group, SPLC designated hate group on these profiles. And that led to a lawsuit. Thankfully, GuideStar took that down. But at the same time, Amazon Smile, which Amazon Smile, may rest in peace, no longer exists. But that was a program that you would use so that every Amazon purchase you made, part of the proceeds would go to a nonprofit, a charity of your choice. They used the SPLC hate map to screen people out, and that was a big scandal. And then there was a Muslim reformer by the name of Majid Nawaz that the SPLC branded an anti-Islamic extremist, and he sued. And thankfully, he got a $3.5 million settlement.
Was that a defamation lawsuit?
That was yes. So the SPLC has faced a lot of defamation lawsuits, and we should probably get into that later. But just answering your major question, I saw this organization for what it was, and I was constantly shouting from the rooftops about it. Then when Charlottesville happens, the SPLC, first off, the SPLC had this map of Confederate monuments, and this Confederate monument map, which they put out when people were protesting violently at these places, it included high schools, elementary schools, military bases, and then they warn in the text of the map, they say, and these monuments which have inspired turmoil and bloodshed. And this is one of the things that the SPLC is out there doing while you're having these violent protests and people knocking over statues. This was happening in 2017. Then when Charlottesville happened, not only did you get huge gifts to the SPLC from Apple, JP Morgan, I think they gave $1 million
For seeding violence
for
in
the
places
to the
around America.
SPLC. Essentially, they were responding to, you know, this is the way it is with the left. You have an event that the left ties to the right and then says, oh, now we need to silence anyone on the right, and we need to give to these organizations that are silencing people on the right. And of course, that wasn't the official narrative. The official narrative was hate is rising in America. We need to give to this organization that is constantly following hate. And so they gave a lot of money. CNN plastered the hate map on their website without any sort of, saying that this is contested, any sort of negative stuff. And so all of this happening in 2017 just showed me that somebody needed to take the SPLC to task. And I just got a fire in my belly. And throughout the next few years, as more and more happened, and then as the big scandal broke in 2019, it was like a flash in the pan. They fire their co-founder, the president steps down, one of the members of their board steps down. She stepped down from the SPLC board in the midst of this scandal because it was such a big scandal. And then suddenly, crickets. The media is like, oh, drat, we have to cover the scandal for like half a second. And then, oh, yeah, well, nothing's wrong at the SPLC. Don't look. Nowadays, the SPLC is cited in the media and nobody even mentions the big scandal in 2019. And so I'm like, if I didn't have enough reason to write a book after 2017, after 2019, when the legacy media and the Democratic Party tried to shove all of the SPLC skeletons into their closet, I felt like I had no choice.